Hey, how you doing, Justin? Ollie, thanks so much for joining us. In your role here as Chief of Competition, you have a lot of things on your plate. Maybe not so much once the race gets going, but tell us a little bit about what you have to do to get this course ready to go and get this event going.
Well, thank you, Alex. It's really great to have you guys here and to showcase what we're able to do here, both with the Outdoor Center and this awesome college field. The name of the game this week was snow control and preparation. Personally, I spent a lot of hours shoveling snow off the sides of the trail onto the trail itself to ensure the best conditions, because winter hasn't really showed up for us. Beyond that, it's just running through all of the various elements of the fairness of the competition. So how is the course set? What course are we going to use? Confirming with our officials to make sure that they think everything's in the right places, and coordinating volunteers to just make sure it looks as pretty as you see it now.
And obviously, things are off to a pretty smooth start here. It looks like everything's going well from your perspective.
Yeah, any day that it looks a little bit like winter, I'll take. And so it looks like ski racing out there. Everything's white, and everyone seems to be moving in the right direction. So I'd say we're off to a really good start. These mass start races are super exciting and also oddly sort of boring, because they head out and then they come back. And in that interim, there's not altogether that much for me to do. So a lot of nervously wondering whether everything I did is going to lead to a good fair race of the fastest skier winner.
Now, this is the Harvard Carnival, and you have an obvious connection with the program as a 2008 alum of Harvard University. Just what does it mean to be able to be a part of, this Harvard put-on event, and to have that responsibility as you're, wearing a few different hats here this weekend?
I have to admit it's a little special. I try in my role here as the race director at the Outdoor Center to make every level of racing look as close to a World Cup as we can, from a midweek high school race all the way up to national championships. And so I wouldn't say I did anything more for the alma mater, but it was really special, because Harvard was where I really truly learned how special skiing and the ski community is. And so we have my coach in the timing shed right now as the announcer. So my coach from when I was at the university, and then Sam, who's in her first year as the head coach, is a buddy of mine who worked with us here at the Outdoor Center. So we've got connections across the board, and it's just really, it adds that extra special layer. I met my wife skiing at Harvard, and our co-coach here is one of our closest friends, and we met her skiing at Harvard. And so the connections there, both with the school and the sport, run deep, and it just makes it all together that much more worthwhile when it comes out.
Totally a full circle. When you take into account all those connections, just if you could speak about the talent that we see here skiing on a week in, week out basis in this conference, and here today. I know not necessarily everybody is here today because of the U23s, but it's really amazing when you think about it, the world-class talent that we see on competition today.
Absolutely. I mean, we have an Olympian in the field. I was in the men's field, and that is something that I don't think we have said in a very long time in the EISA, and that's just remarkable with Remy Drolet at Harvard, senior captain, representing Canada in 2022 in Beijing. But beyond that, I mean, we have, last weekend I hosted a Super Tour race here, and 2 of the 3 podium positions in the men's race went to skiers at Dartmouth College. So, and those are skiing against the best skiers in North America, and then they're competing week in and week out on this circuit. And so the way that all of the coaches at all 11 EISA schools have raised the level is just really, really special. And I think we've played a small part just putting on good events for them to be able to come and showcase their talent, but the credit all goes to those athletes who train, let's say 11 months out of the year for this, and still are being student athletes the whole time. It's really remarkable, and it's a special thing we get to be a part of and see.
Well, the course, the Outdoor Center, everything looks great. Congratulations on a lot of hard work and a job well done. Thanks so much for taking the time on this busy day to join us.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and thank you guys for being out here and showcasing cross-country skiing, because I think it's the coolest sport out there, so I appreciate it.